sure everything. Right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing okay. I just want to say thank you so much for everybody who's continuously showing support on the channel, and everybody who is new. I always try to bring out Leeds United content on a daily basis, and I always try to bring it out on around about 8 a.m. every single day. And I always try to bring a non-biased perspective. I'll always try to be fair, and I'll always try to, in a sense, communicate with the Leeds United fans, go on your opinions, and I guess have just a brilliant discussion. And we've got the same guests as last time. You guys wanted him on the channel, and I'm very happy to introduce Josh. So how are you doing today, mate?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, after the performance against Birmingham City, I'm hoping that you're not feeling too down or too stressed.
Well, I don't know. It's depressing, isn't it? Really, I was completely wrong actually to what I was saying last week. I thought we'd start the season really great. I think we'd go into it well. The injuries don't really help, but I think losing like that isn't really great. It wasn't convincing at all. I watched the entire match. It's pathetic. It was really bad actually yesterday. Probably worst performance I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, I think the squad depth is kind of worrying. I mean, with the amount of players that are wanting to go away from the club, the amount of players we've already sold out on loan, in my opinion, I think the squad depth is worrying because if you think about it, if you look at the likes of Leicester and you look at the likes of like Southampton, yes, Southampton have sold 4 players, but they've accumulated around about 80 to 100 million pounds in profit, you know? Whereas like Leeds have done what type of business? We've sent out like 7 players, including Jack Harrison, who's pretty much going to Aston Villa now. And to me, I think it's kind of embarrassing, you know, with how Victor Ortiz and Radrizzani has done these types of contracts. Like, of course, the 49ers had some sort of like percentage in the say, but they can't dictate what happens because there wasn't like there wasn't fully in control of everything. And in my opinion, with the team lineup against Birmingham City, I couldn't see anything more than a draw because I said it was going to be 2-2 because obviously I thought it'd be like jam packed with goals with how, in a sense, fierce like. Leeds United going forward is kind of fearful for defenders, and as well with the amount of goals that we've always leaked in, I thought it was going to be a high scoring game. So you, like you just said, you managed to watch the game. So if you want to go in a little bit more detail about what happened in the game, then I guess we can just go from there.
Yeah, I mean, from the get-go, it was awful. It was absolutely awful. I think I was really expecting us to at least do decent. I don't know what the objective was. Just hoofing the ball up the pitch every time we had it in possession. Clearly wasn't working. We've seen that before. We've seen the players just absolutely just slamming it up the pitch, losing possession, and then them. To be honest, though, they were awful. They were almost just as bad as us. They were not great, but it shows, doesn't it, when you don't take your chances, if we even had any chances, and then Dan James does what he does at the end. It's a controversial penalty as well, but it's no more than what either side deserve. I think in the end, I think they probably deserved to win it. We didn't have much. I think Dembele, he was really good actually yesterday. He was one of their shining players.
Yeah.
Dan James was way poorer than what I were expecting. I thought he'd be all right yesterday, but not great. I think Ampadu was all right. Cresswell, it's just not much. No squad depth. I mean, we're playing James Shackleton on the right.
Yeah.
What's happening? And then Paveda, it's not great. It's really not at the minute. I don't know where we go from here.
Yeah, and this is where it comes to the whole situation, isn't it? With the whole like transfer sagas and like the amount of players that we seem to be linked with. Are we actually linked with these players? Because there's a comment here actually saying that Nat Phillips could be signing for Leeds United in a few hours, and I don't know how true that is because with the likes of Joe Rodon coming in, can you see us bringing in another centre back? Because I personally don't.
I mean, it was quite convincing actually. I don't know when it was actually now when we signed Joe Rodon, and then A couple of hours later, Max Aarons is getting linked. So showed a little bit of positive stuff around the club. You know, there's stuff going on behind the scenes that we're not hearing of, but I don't know. I don't think we will. No, I think they'll probably what they'll be aiming to now. The board they'll be aiming for attackers. You know, they'll
Yeah,
be aiming for forwards now. I think when we have a fully fit squad, it's okay at the back. I mean, I really like the Joe Roden, and I like Charlie Cresswell. So I think that'll be solid if they're fully fit.
yeah.
But
I mean,
no, I don't.
oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think it's good when they're fully fit, but no, I don't think we'll sign any more centre backs now. No.
No, I don't see the point in doing it. To be honest with you, with the quality of play of Joe Rodon, everybody's buzzing over it. I'm hoping and playing that he can, like, in a sense, quickly adapt to the Daniel Farke system, because there was loads of people saying that he'd start. Fair enough. For some reason, we had to hoof him up front because there was no height, was there? Because, like I said in my match preview, we've got Dan James up front, Joe Gelhardt up front, we've got Pervader and Shackleton up front, who are all around about 4 foot. You know, so when coming up against teams who have high, like, tall defenders, and we're trying to hoof the ball into the box, just exactly what it was like under Bielsa, we're not going to be able to do anything, are we?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, something needs to change. It was so poor yesterday. It's some points it looked like League One football, but maybe even worse. I mean, I really don't know what the objective was. I don't think there was any attacking threat. Maybe one chance all game with Rutter towards the end, who I don't know. He's not convincing at the moment. He might even go, you know. So I don't know at the moment. It's just poor.
Well, this is the thing as well. It's like we don't exactly know the situation behind Rutter and his contract, do we? Because there's rumours that he could have a relegation release. And this is the thing I wanted to point up as well. It's like all these players, Jack Harrison, Christensen, Aronson, Koch, Llorente, all these players who played for Leeds United in that sense, all had a relegation release clause. And it's like, it really, really angers me how Victor Orta thought it would be brilliant, a brilliant idea to shove these ludicrous ideas into the player's head, thinking that we're not going to get relegated. Because I was thinking about this earlier. It's like, was Victor Orta so arrogant that he thought we was never ever going to get relegated? So he offered these players, Tyler Adams, Sinisterra, Robin Koch, Brendan Aronson, all these relegation release clause, because he thought we was going to be nowhere near that relegation. Like, and you know, and now look, we've literally brought in £4 million or €4 million or whatever it is, compared to Leicester, compared to Southampton, compared to even Middlesbrough, should we say? You know, these teams are, even Coventry, these teams are selling players, making big amount of profit, whereas Leeds United, we're just a laughing stock. There's just no cohesion right now. Of course, the 49ers have got so much work to do, and to me, I think it's so stupid when I see these tweets or I see people's comments blaming the 49ers and blaming Daniel Farke. I'm just like, what are you going on about? Because yes, the 49ers had a percentage or a high stake in the club, but Radrizzani was the main person to, in a sense, finalize deals and finalize contracts and this and that. So the 49ers have to come in and redo all of that, you know? And I don't blame Daniel Farke. I don't blame the 49ers. I don't know how you feel about the whole situation. But to me, with how Radrizzani and Victor Orta have put us in right now, of course, I'm usually a balanced presenter. I always try to bring out positive, negative, and I'll always try to balance it out. But as for right now, we are a laughing stock, and it's embarrassing with how business is being done.
It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. It's arrogance, like you were saying, and just stubbornness. I think the Brentford game, what were it, 2 years ago now, us finishing just above Burnley that season, it's a wake up call, and they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything, and then you have Victor Orta coming out saying it's impossible, we're going to get relegated.
You don't say that, do you?
It's just, it's stubbornness and it's just complete negligence from Radrizzani, the board. And you'd think that, oh, we've been relegated, it's going to be an upward trajectory now. It's not. The 49ers have come in. I appreciate the Joe Roden signing. He's a good signing. It's a loan as well, which I do like. But we're not signing enough. They need to spend more. It's simple, and they're not. And there's gonna be a time where it's enough, and there'll be people that are getting so annoyed that there will start to be stuff going on at Ellen Road. You'll see people turning up, rioting outside of Ellen Road because we're not signing anyone. And we're a big club. We're a big club, and it's not trying to sound bigger than. I'm not trying to be big of myself saying that we're a big club, but we are. 20 years ago being in Champions League, and now we're in the Championship. And 3 years ago we were in what were it ninth in the Premier League. How did it go so wrong? How did it go so wrong? I just don't know. And we do not deserve to be. We do not deserve to be where we are right now as Leeds fans. It's the board. It's all the board, and it's players as well, which I'm sure we'll get onto.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like you said, it's complete arrogance, it's complete stubbornness, and there's so many similarities, isn't there, to Daniel Farke and Bielsa. Not just style of play, but with a lack of depth and the way things are run off the pitch. Because even when we was in the Premier League, we still had kids. We still had kids in the first team and on the bench. And if you look at it, how we played against Birmingham, and this is what I'm going to say to you, who do you think's who was the most impressive out of the Leeds versus Birmingham game? But comparing the two sides with Daniel Farke and Bielsa, them 3 years, of course, we brought in and invested 100 million last year, but just on absolute crap. But with how everything's run right now, it's exactly the same. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, from where we are now, we're starting to go back to, pre-Marcelo Bielsa, Heckingbottom era. It's looking low. It really is. And I think it might be me. It might just be me. I think some people obviously think otherwise, but I think we're all in agreement that it's not good. It's really not. I think
Exactly.
we are one of the worst run clubs in England right now, professionally. It's awful. It still baffles me how it's gone so wrong. I don't get it. And you see Rodrigo going out scoring more than 10 goals last season. I know he's old. I know he's old in with age and whatever, but 4 million, and that's the only money we've got all season.
I know. And we spent 30 million quid on him, didn't we?
Exactly. And I don't know. You're loaning out players, and as soon as they come back, right now, I think current state of affairs, we're fortunate to get somewhere below 10th in the Championship. Yeah. And as soon as the players come back, they'll leave. It's as simple as that. Aronson comes back, he's gone. And Llorente as well. And they'll just be gone. I don't know what the plan is. What is the plan with the club right now? It's so unpredictable. It's not nice though as well. You don't want to see your club going this bad. I don't know what to say anymore. It's poor.
I know. I mean, as Leeds United fans as a whole, I think we are very angry. We're very emotional right now when it comes to this situation. And I guess all we can do is just be patient. All we can do is just try to be as patient as we can with Daniel Farke and the players and the system that he wants to implement. Of course, the 49ers are going to be as stressed or as more stressed as us Leeds fans. But it's like I agree with you with the whole position thing. I know you predicted second, I predicted fourth, but I can't, after that performance against Birmingham, and still the little yes, there was positives in the Cardiff game, but with the same mistakes week in, week out, even in the Premier League, coming down to the Championship, still making the same mistakes. And this is what Matt Leeds has just said. It's like, We went from needing a winger to playing Shackleton on the wing. Like, why, first of all, why is Pavetta not playing on the wing? After the Cardiff City game, right, there was a statistic that came out saying that he completed more dribbles, and pretty much more touches in the opponent's box than what was it? The Cardiff managed to complete something like that? But what I'm trying to say is Pavetta should have been playing out on the wing, and Jamie Shackleton should be playing in centre midfield. Even though he still shouldn't be in the first team, I think he should be either sold or gone out on loan. And bless his heart, he gives his all for the club, but his quality isn't there. So are we seeing the same thing over and over again? Because my opinion is, I don't want to have players playing 5 different positions. I don't want to go out there and see Buddy Stuart Dallas playing goal or Joe Rodon playing up front, you know?
So, yeah, I was just thinking the Stuart Dallas playing left back, centre mid. It really is that situation, isn't it? Playing a centre mid and up front. I don't know. I don't blame Farke. I don't. I really don't. It's not his fault. It's not his fault at all. I mean, what resources does he have?
Nothing.
He doesn't have any, exactly.
And everyone wants to leave, so.
But you don't know what to think right now. It's so negative. It's like 95% negative just around the club right now, and you have the 5%, which is Joe Rodon. That is it. That is completely it. So where do we go from now?
I really don't know. I mean, before we get into the next topic, I'm just going to go through a few of your comments. There's been almost 60 people in the chat, so make sure you like the video as well. I really do appreciate it. And if you are new around here, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Frankie says the squad needs surgery big time, and that's exactly what we've been saying. The depth is stupid. The amount of players who are refusing. Apparently, Sinisterra is now refusing. The whole situation with Tyler Adams and finding a lump or a bruise or like a shadow on his injury, so he's going to be out for another 4 months. Jack Harrison's situation and Aston Villa being hijacking the whole transfer. I don't know. It's stressful and it's emotionally draining because I don't know how you personally feel, but every time when I see this whole saga, because I can't seem to keep up, because this week alone we signed Joe Rodon, we missed out the signing of Max Aarons, Nonto refused to play twice, Sinisterra's allegedly refused to play, Adams went to Chelsea, then everything just seemed to broke down. We lost 1-0 to Birmingham City. Harrison was then linked to Everton, and then all of a sudden Aston Villa. Harrison was linked to Everton, and then all of a sudden Harrison was then hijacked to go to Aston Villa. So there's been so much stress and so much news coming out that I'm starting to slowly become a little bit emotionally drained.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, that's all you can feel. It's no positives. It's even worse, amplified that our best players are going, and they're going on loan as well. We're not even getting money for them, so we can't reinvest. And the 49ers are being stubborn to reinvest right now. So I don't know.
Andrew says if these players don't want to stay, then get rid. They have no loyalty to the club, and it's not doing the club any good. And that's it. Exactly. It's like we're all in the same boat. We're all in the same agreement with everything that's happening right now. But the one thing that I do truly like and do really truly appreciate is Daniel Farke's comments after the Leeds United game, and I really, really respect the man. It shows his loyalty, and I'm going to read just a couple of quotes that Phil Hay has come out and said. Is Daniel Farke tells Leeds United players if they don't want to be here, then you won't train with us. I'm quite pragmatic. If someone doesn't want to be with us, they'll go out the dressing room and they won't train. I only want players who are fully focused and committed to this Leeds United badge. I'm not begging or praying, please, please, please play for this club. We are too big for non-negotiators. And what do you think about that? Like, from him coming out and saying he doesn't want players to be around the club. And I know there was fans out there saying that Daniel Farke didn't have a clue when it came to the whole knowing of the contracts, the situation behind the players. But that's not exactly true, because I don't think the 49ers are going to keep something as big as that away from the new manager. Because if you put it into perspective, if you went into a job and there was so many issues in your line of work, and then all of a sudden you came to this job or this club or whatever, and you came and found all these problems, I don't think you'd want to stay at that job or that club, would you? Do you know what I'm trying to get at?
No, you're exactly right. I mean, it's only so long before the 49ers make so many bad decisions that he'll go as well. He doesn't have to stay. He's doing it for Leeds. He's come to the club. He's trying to do the best for the club with the most limited resources he can possibly get. He's got nothing. Nothing's going for him right now. You have to feel just completely sorry for him. It's so poor for Daniel Farke, and you feel for the players that really do actually try as well.
Yeah, I mean there is players that I don't want at the club, but these are the types of players who are showing so much loyalty to the club at the same time. And with the likes of the old guard, I know there's a lot of like divide when it comes to the old guard with Bamford, Ayling, Cooper, Dallas. Some fans want him to stay, some fans want him to go. And I'm personally part of the fan base. I think you said that you wanted to get rid of them. I personally still want them to be around, just to give us that hope that, okay, well, yes, they may not be Premier League quality. Yes, they may not be world beaters, but they've done it. They've done it in the Championship, and can they do it again? And that's the question. It's like, this is the question we have to ask. It's like, 3 years in the Premier League, they're 3 years older now, so are they going to be able to keep up with the quality of the Championship? 46 games plus cup games. It's a long, long season.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I mean, you have the midweek games as well, and the players are experienced for it. You'll have the Luke Ayling and the Patrick Bamford and things like that, who I really appreciate. I appreciate like the service they've done for the club, but I think especially Luke Ayling now, it's just so bad for him. I really appreciate him staying, and I love that. I love the fighting spirit. I love the loyalty to the club. But how are we going to keep players that are performing so bad, but are accepting the club? They're staying. So it's so debatable. I mean, I don't know, and I think maybe they will leave at some point. Patrick Bamford as well. I mean, I think he actually does still have something to offer. Like you said, they've played in the Championship before. They know what it's all about. So maybe they can. It's still early doors, so
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
Yeah. I totally understand. I mean, a lot of people think I'm a little bit deluded or whatever, because I always seem to try to pick out positives, even though we're in such like a negative situation right now. We've only played 2 games. Yes, we're in such a state right now. Do I think that we're going to get promoted? Even I predicted that we was going to play finishing 4th, I don't think we're going to get promoted this year. But are you willing? And I want to know in the comments below as well. Are you willing to keep Daniel Farke for maybe 2-3 years at Leeds United? Because this will be a very divided opinion when it comes to a lot of Leeds fans, because the ones who are more angry and more reactionary, if we don't make the playoffs or don't get promoted within our first season, then they'll be calling for his head. Whereas for me, I feel like we need to give him a few years, get rid of all the players who don't want to be at the club, and then just slowly build a project. Because why rush? Why would you like to see this team right now, a few players, a few additions, and be in the Premier League? Or would you rather have a slow season, yes, it's going to look bad on our reputation for Leeds United, but would you rather build slowly and create a solid championship team for the Premier League?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it is a long-term project, in my opinion, and the majority of fans, and I don't blame them, they want promotion. They will be wanting promotion straight away, but I don't think it'll be that. You know, my perspective has changed so much in this past week. It's unbelievable. I mean, I've gone to thinking we're going to be second to being the lower depths of the championship, 15th, 14th, around there. It's so depressing. And you're exactly right in saying that if we don't get promoted straight away, then he will be forced out of the club, I think, by fans being so annoyed that we've not been promoted because we're such a big club. If we're such a big club, then we would be promoted straight
Exactly.
away. But we're not. We're not going to be. I'm confident of that now. Right. Well, in these state of affairs, I think we're not. We're purely not. I think we'd be lucky to get even 10th right now. And that's exaggerating. That is pushing it, really. It is.
I mean, Andrew says it's going to take time, guys, to sort this out. We're all going to sort this out. We're all going to give them some space. Let's face it, we aren't going to get promoted this year. We're honest with it. Exactly, Andrew. This is exactly what we're saying. If even with additions, even in my opinion, with additions to Leeds now, we're bringing 4 or 5 players. I think we may be going in the right direction, building a championship squad that is capable of fighting for the playoffs. But it's going to take time because there's so many players that still need to go. There's still many players that have been around at the club for years, given a chance after chance, and they're just not proving it. Joe Gelhardt, I don't know what situation is going to be with him because we don't know exactly what position he plays because we've tried it, haven't we? We've tried him playing in number 10. We've tried playing with him with 2 strikes. We've tried playing him as a number 9, but he just doesn't seem to be living up to the potential he has. And I like the kid. Don't get me wrong. I really do like the kid, and he has got some potential. But what's it going to take for him to reach those levels?
Yeah, you're completely right. I mean, where does he really play now? If he's not a striker, is he a shadow striker, centre forward? You don't know. And he showed really good signs in that second season we're in the Premier League. You know, against Norwich and against Wolves, where he shone. He really did. He did not do bad. He showed some really good signs, and I think his move to Sunderland last year was a good one. I'm not too sure if he did good. Sunderland fans will probably know if he did or not. I've heard some all right things from Sunderland fans on Twitter and stuff, but it's really difficult with Joe Gelhardt. I don't know where he plays now, because if he plays striker, then he's filling in for, Jorginho Rutter, who I'm not sure of as well. He's more of a shadow striker now, more of a playmaker, and in my opinion, I think Gelhardt's more of a number 9. I think he's more of a striker. I don't think he's got the ability to play in a more playmaking role. He's definitely better in number 9.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's a lot of people talking about Daniel Farke, and I've just been putting some of the comments up, and it's quite positive actually. I thought there was going to be a divide when it comes to the situation and Daniel Farke, and would you want him sacked? And a lot of you guys have pretty much said that you'd want to keep him, and I respect that. I respect the fact that you guys are very patient. You'd rather have a slow, successful project than in a sense going out there and buying 12 new players who we don't really know, who may not have that ability to get Leeds United back into the Premier League. I mean, there is a lot of players out there who we can still go out and sign on a free. I don't really know the market that very well when it comes to free agents, but from the likes of free agents, who would you like to see? I mean, I know we signed Sam Byram, He was a free agent. Would you like to see? I mean, who's that right back? I can't remember what it's called now. The one at Tottenham. He used to play for Nottingham Forest.
Serge Aurier?
Who?
I don't know. Serge Aurier?
No, not him. I can't remember his name now. Jed Spence. I'm sure he's out of contract. Yeah. I think he's out of contract this year at Tottenham. So there's free agents and there's players who are out of contract. It's like, do we try and be ambitious and try to go for these players, or do we just give these players that we have the opportunity to prove to us that they can be good enough in the Championship?
Yeah, I mean, oh my God, the Sam Byron I really enjoyed that as a fan. I was negative towards the fact of it at first, but I like it. I like the 1 year contract. I think, like I said, he's got something to show still. And you see clubs like Cardiff signing Aaron Ramsey and stuff. Why can't we go do that? Because he's got players like that have experience, and that is what we will need to go back up. Simple as.
Yeah, exactly. Howden Eve have just put, what is Farke supposed to do with this squad? Our bench on Saturday, 2 keepers and kids. And yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a little bit embarrassing, isn't it, to think that we had to have 2 keepers on the bench just to be able to fill up that extra space. And this leads me on to the Nonto and Sinistera situation. It's getting to the point now where I'm just done talking about Nonto. I'm done talking about the whole saga of him being a little baby. Like, yes, he's 19 years old, but I know so many more mature 19-year-olds out there than how he is acting right now. I mean, of course, it comes down to his agent. I mean, I saw a video the other day saying that his agent's the same one as Zaniolo, and we all know how I don't know if you knew how it went, but pretty much Zaniolo was trying to force himself away from the club. He was acting out. He was, in a sense, trying to act bigger than the club, bigger than what he is. His ego was getting bigger and this and that. And he was trying to force move to clubs. And he's the same agent what Nonto has. So is it Nonto himself who's acting up, or is it his agent whispering in his ear? It's like, look, we'll get you that move. We'll push that move. Like, just be patient, or just force your way out of the club. And if that's the case, he needs to get a new agent, because he's ruining his reputation. He's ruining his name, because at the end of the day, I don't want players, doesn't matter how good you are, I don't want players who have attitude issues and refuse to play for the club. And we know how loyal our fans are. We know how loyal some of the players we've had are. But as soon as a player disrespects this Leeds badge, that's it. You're gone, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy actually how fast the kid's reputation's just gone upside down. I mean, 1 minute you're thinking best player at Leeds, wonder kid. He's being ranked as a really good wonder kid, you know. But like you were just saying, if you're not fighting for the badge, if you're not willing to play, go. And similarly, like you said, if he's got the same agent as Zaniolo and it's the same situation has happened before with Zaniolo, maybe that is saying something about the agent.
Yeah, exactly. Hang on, I'm just reading some of the comments and stuff. I just want to say thank you as well for the super chat, Jamie. Really appreciate that. Matt Leeds says, why do people try to defend him? He should have a brain and know what the right and wrong thing is to do when you're under contract at the club. And this is what I was saying in my previous video. It's like, me and Karen was actually talking about this in the comments below. If you was to go to a normal workplace, as we do, we either work part-time or we either work full-time, and we turn up one day and just pretty much say, oh, well, I'm not doing this. I'm not turning up this today. I'm not going to do this or do that or whatever. What's the outcome going to be? They're just going to end up sacking you.
Yeah, it's that is probably the best way of putting it. I mean, if you go into work, you're expected to work, especially when you're getting the money he's making per week, like 5 figures a week, and he's turning up to not even play. I mean, the least he could do is go out with a little bit of dignity. Play for the club. Do the best until the very end. It's gone so south with his reputation. You
Yeah.
see people chanting at the game yesterday against him. I mean, I don't know. I feel for him a little bit because I think the situation with the club has really not helped his transfer situation. He naturally wants to move away, but like you were saying, his ego with the club. You look at it as a fan. Who does he really think he is? Who does he think he is?
I
I
know.
mean, you can say he's still a kid, but he's 19. He's mature enough to know that, I'm going to go play for this football club, an opportunity that only a selected few get.
Yeah, well,
The least I could do is try my best.
I'll go back to your comment in a minute, Mark. And this is what Karen has literally just said pretty much what you said. Nonto and his agent, Nonto has a mind of his own to make his own decision. Exactly. I mean, if he's been advised to leave the club, I mean, of course, every player, like, don't get me wrong, Nonto's probably such a lovely guy. He's probably such a lovely lad. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to act out at times. But is he really as good as he makes him out to be? Because yes, when he first joined, he came on the scene and he I don't know, he was just something else. He was that Rafinha-esque when he first came in, and we were screaming to try and, in a sense, invest in a player like Rafinha, and we thought we'd found one. We thought we'd found the exact same player with his directness, his strength, his ability to, in a sense, take on any player. But then towards the end of the season, maybe the whole manager situation, because 4 managers in the space of like 3-4 months could have a huge impact on players' mentality. Of course, it's no excuse because you're a professional footballer. You're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. So there is that side of things. But I know I've made reactionary videos and I've been angry and I've been disappointed. But I just want him to go now. I mean, exactly like everybody else, want him to go. If exactly what Daniel Farke says, if you don't want to play for the badge, you don't want to play for Leeds United, then you won't play. And this leads on to Mark's comment. Will Nonto and Cini still get paid? I don't know. I hope not, especially Nonto, because I don't know if you've heard that, but he got spotted out in Harrogate in the pub.
Yeah,
photographs with.
it's disgusting. I've heard about that. I heard about it this morning, and I was just sat there and I was thinking, it's so ignorant. I mean, while the club's playing and he's going out drinking, who does he think he is? Seriously, he's still in contract at the club. He's still in contract. He's not going. He's not gone anywhere. The press and people are saying he's not going now. He's not going to Everton. So the least, I mean, the least he could do is sit down and watch the game. I really don't know where it's going wrong with him.
I don't know. I mean, Joe's just said, nah, it's like if they've been refused to play, they're probably being fined the wages. And I hope they do. I hope they do, because no player is bigger than the club. Doesn't matter whether you're Leeds United, doesn't matter whether you're AFC Wimbledon, York City, Chelsea, whoever you are. There's no player bigger than the club. I mean, Mbappe tried to do the whole situation and with PSG. I mean, that's a different matter, but no player is bigger than Leeds United. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing because with I can't remember his name now. It's on the tip of my tongue. Who's the guy outside the stadium? It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Billy Bremner?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Billy Bremner. His motto was "Club before self."
And yeah, the players side before self every time.
Exactly. And the players and the players that we've like sold or sent out on loan, they're being so selfish. So selfish, and they're putting themselves before the club. And it's ruining Leeds United's reputation, it's ruining the name of Leeds United, and it's ruining the history and the players of Leeds United.
Yeah, I mean, the situation with Sinister, I mean, it's still still ongoing, but I really hope it's not the same situation as what it is with Gunonto, because right now with Gunonto, like you said, I hope he just goes. I hope we get a good transfer fee for him, and then I'm happy with that. I'm really am, because I don't want to see him wearing the badge anymore.
No, I don't. Billy Bremner said, "Side before self every time. These players couldn't lace Billy's boots." exactly, pal. So I just wanted to talk about to Sinisterra and how this is going to affect Leeds United's transfer situation. I mean, I know there was reports that Leeds United were going out there to try and find a new winger in where is he called? Jack Cannon, plays for Everton. He's 20 years old. He can play on the wing, but he's more of a centre forward. I don't know if you've heard of him. He played 20 games for Preston and scored 8 goals. Style of play is a centre forward, but can play winger and can play as a number 10. But his main role is a striker. 121 games, 59 goals, 15 assists, and a possible loan move from Everton. So, could we use Gnonto as a bargaining tool to, in a sense, bring Jack Cannon to the club? I mean, he's only 20 years old. He scored 8 goals in the Championship on loan when he was 19 for Preston. He's played so many games for the under-23s or the under-21s for Everton, bagged in 30-odd goals for them in over 60 appearances. So, from looking at his stats, is he someone that we could possibly look at and maybe try implement that into our team?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too familiar with him. I will be honest, I'm not. But through the stats, I mean, they seem positive. And if the style of play fits Daniel Farke's system, then I'm up for it. I'm completely up for it, because any forward threat right now we need. Simple.
Yeah, and exactly. Matt says we've got 16 players. 2 are 3 goalkeeper. Will they be putting goalkeeper in playing positions on? I don't know what you mean by that. Much love from Israel. Well, welcome to the channel. If you are new, make sure you subscribe. There's been a majority of almost 100 people in this live stream, which is fantastic. It's been mental with the amount of comments as well. I can't really keep up with them. Karen says players have too much power nowadays. Exactly. Money always talks, and they don't seem to have any respect until they've been offered a huge amount of money. Bill says, let's be real, majority of players are mercenaries. The only players who get the meaning of side before self are homegrown talent like Gray and Cresswell. Yeah, exactly. I'm really looking forward to Archie Gray. I mean, what's your thoughts about him? I mean, we've seen him over pre-season. He's looked okay. Didn't seem to be too involved in the game against Birmingham. Did okay against Cardiff. I mean, I don't want to put too much pressure on the kid because obviously he's only young. How old is he? He's only 17, isn't he?
Yeah, 17.
So I think he's got a bright future. I think if he's coached well, if he keeps his maturity levels at a standard that a footballer needs to be able to learn and develop quickly, I think he's going to be a very exciting player this year. And as well as Cresswell, I mean, he did okay at Millwall. So what's your thoughts of Cresswell and Archie Gray? Would you use these players going forward, or would you still bring in players to, in a sense, with more experience and more knowledge from like, in a sense, a different league?
Yeah, I mean, Archie Gray's, I like him. He is definitely one to look out for in the future, but I think he did really well against Cardiff as well. But I don't know. I think we can't really be relying on him to do a job right now in the situation we're in.
Are we back? What happened there? Did I lose connection?
I think you did.
Yeah, well, I
think it's all right now anyway. Well, I was just saying anyway, I think he's a good player. He's a good prospect for Leeds. But is he really going to be leading the line? Leading that 11 going into games? I mean, he's 17. He's 17. Can we really be relying on him going into these big games, later in the season, like Leicester? Is he going to put up a good performance against those big teams?
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, because we're almost coming towards the end of the stream now. Are you worried for this season? Are you worried with the lack of depth? Are you worried with what you've just pretty much been saying about lack of experience, lack of knowledge of coming up against these big teams? So are you worried about this season? Or are you still optimistic?
It's so difficult to predict right now where we're going to be, because in 1 week, like I said, my perspective has changed so much. But in a week from now, it could be completely different. It really could in 2 weeks and 3 weeks, and as the season progresses, we will see. But I mean, the situation with the injuries, that is not. It's really not great. I mean, that is where it worries me the most. I mean, like you were saying about Tyler Adams being out for how many months? That it's really not great.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to find a comment actually because a guy asked us something. I can't find it. It must have gone now. And he was pretty much saying, what's your opinion?" I think he was more talking to you, Josh, saying it's like, "What's your opinion on if we was to bring in 4 or 5 quality players? Like, where would you see Leeds United in the future?"
I mean, if he's talking about, I think in long term, if we bring in some good players in the long term, then it's looking definitely positive. If we bring in players now, which is, I think at this stage it's extremely unlikely, then it's not looking great. It's really not. And I partially agree with that it could be a good situation. I might be just talking a load of you know what, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like everything in the chat is like it's really interesting. It's been a pleasure being able to talk to everyone, and I guess it's really nice to have a community where we can come together and have a proper discussion, and in a sense have a similar type of understanding about things. And with the comment on your screen right now, if you are new and you haven't seen what we've been talking about, we've already mentioned about Jack Harrison going to Aston Villa in the hijack from Everton. So go back to the start if you haven't seen it, so you'll be able to understand exactly what we've been talking about. And Karen said we need to bring 7 or 8 players. I mean, I don't know how that's going to be possible. I don't know how we're going to be able to afford that, because with the FFP rules and stuff like that, whether we're going to bring in loads of loan players, like explore the loan market, which we've started doing. Maybe we can bring in maybe 3 or 4 more loan players in, like Nottingham Forest did, like we did in the season when we got promoted. And so there's plenty of players out there to get, whether we go out there and get them. So overall, I think it's been quite a good stream. West Brom, your prediction. We could give an early little prediction. Like, I know it's not until next week, but are you positive? Are you optimistic? Are you worried? What do you reckon it's going to be?
2-0 West Brom, I think. Yeah, I mean, right now it's just so unpredictable. I think everyone's predictions will be different. They really will, because the game against Cardiff, it was all right, but then obviously quite a few injuries happened, and then the game yesterday, awful. So what's going to happen? You don't know. You really don't.
Yeah, I mean, West Brom seem to be on a decent run. I mean, Carlos Corberán, I mean, he's a bit hit and miss. There's some moments where he'll make his teams so hard to defeat, and then sometimes it's very easy to open them up. So I think we will lose that game again if we go out with the same team. I think we will lose. If I want to be positive, I think we'll win 2-1. But if we have a little bit more depth, if Rutter plays, if we can get, I know Somerville is supposed to be out for 3 weeks, but if he can come back early, if we can put Joe Rodon in, there is that chance we can go out there and pick up all 3 points. But like you said, I think we will lose that game. And I commented on someone's post. It's Talk Leeds. I don't know if you follow him on Instagram. It's got nearly 30,000 followers. How many points do you reckon we'll get this August month? And I said 6. I don't think we're going to get 6 points. Do you?
I mean, no, I think you're actually right. It's really not looking like that right now. It really isn't. We'd be lucky to get a win, actually, I think this month. I mean, West Brom, no. I think no, definitely not. I don't know who's after that actually, but even if Ipswich, and they're looking all right. They really are. They're looking decent. You know, they've come up from League One, absolutely just smashed out the league. They'll be looking to get points. I think every team will against Leeds. As much as we're in a bad situation, we're still a massive club. Every team will be looking at Leeds to say, you know, let's go out there and just smash them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's going to be quite difficult, but right, that's it. I just want to say thank you for coming on again. It's been an absolute pleasure. I guess it's just been an absolute pleasure being able to talk to everybody again in the chat. We've had record numbers. I think there was just shy of 100 people watching live, so I really appreciate it. And if, like I said before, if you want to see Josh become more, in a sense, more of a regular on the channel, just let me know, and I'll see if he's free, and we can just continue and sorting things out. And if you are new around here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Go check out Josh's Instagram as well. I think that's in your little heading there. So, yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next one. I'll see you later.
See you.
Peace.
Cheers, man.